Hey, 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 hey! Howdy, 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 howdy! How's everybody today? Yeah, uh, everything. I had trouble getting my computer started. That's why I'm a little late. And that it wouldn't go on. And that. So, how is everybody this weekend? And that. Everything. Yeah. Yeah. I've been under the weather. Yeah. It's thing that I've been studying a lot in letting transformation of our lives into a spiritual light of letting energy flow through the body. You know, there are people that say, "Who is a God?" And then there are those who say there is not a God. Who are you to say there's no God? Who are you to say there is a God? You know, um, and really, it don't matter what a person believes in. And it doesn't matter if the person doesn't believe in. What I hate is people trying to convert people not to believe and people trying to convert people to believe. The deal is, if you live a life by example and people watch you and they realize your life, how you live it, in that, in listening to other people about their beliefs, is how you encourage people to believe what you believe. Um, you know, Buddha says, allow a person to be themselves, as long as they don't interfere with you. Buddha also says, live today like it's your last. You know, don't worry about tomorrow. Don't worry about the other man. This is where meditation comes into practice, where we meditate and we don't have to worry about who's got what this, that, everything. It's the basic logical information is finding connection within, seeing what within is doing right with self, following a pattern of spiritual learning, spiritual guides coming into our life, teachings the elementary of power greater than ourselves. The listening, the hearing, the talking, reading, we have one connection. Each individual has their own connection to a creator. It's not like all of us line up and we all get the same message. Um, Sometimes the message is passed down to carry over to somebody else. It's an assignment, you know. It's like a fellow member. I could say that's a sin. If I go with any there, then I'm trying to control and can push the deal. This is where the religion is trying to control everything on their pattern beliefs. And I have grew up in a Baptist, and we were kind of open-minded Southern Baptist. My Baptist wasn't as bad as people say it was, but they believe, not the Baptist. I'm not talking about the Baptist now. I'm talking about religious people believe that everything is done this way and all this, that if they were to get up in heaven, they would get mad because Jesus is doing what they were said Jesus would not do. Jesus is not supposed to have fun. Jesus is not supposed to dance. Well, religious people, you're wrong. Jesus has said, go out and enjoy life, carry the message. You know, he didn't say, sit home, compare yourself, you have a purpose, I'll call on you when you're ready. That ain't what he means. I mean, it's a lot of stuff in the Bible, it means a lot of things. I was talking to a guy talked about somebody went over to Spain, and he said we quote the Bible wrong. And it's a deal that it's not really we're quoting it wrong or right. It's the fact is the Bible is written the way it was written. King James, see, the Hebrew Bible was not in Scripture. It's like reading a book, a textbook. You're reading Scripture. What King James did is he taken the Bible, wrote it in Scriptures, and that. But here's a catch: not everything that was written in King James was not according to the Hebrew. That's not everything. It didn't say everything. What some of it was, some of it. But the deal was he was making it easier for us to read. And they transferred it into the Holy, they transferred it into English Standard, and people were trying to translate it to where it made sense. But, you know, and another thing was 12 prophets inspected the Bible of King James to make sure it was not written to what his life was. Either do it or else. you know. It's what it is that you go over to England and they do the same thing. It's just that they do it differently than we do. They live their lives differently than we live our lives. And a lot of people don't even know what they read. And they'll tell you, oh, this is what I got to have, and this is what you're supposed to do. I'm like, no. Take a minute and take 12 people, have them all read the same translation, same Bible, have them all read the same scripture, just one scripture, the same scripture. Now, if you were to ask each individual what that scripture means, and I guarantee you will not get two meanings. You'll get 12 different meanings of that whole thing, and neither one of them will have the same meaning because it's interpreted for that person, And it doesn't mean right or wrong. Everybody says, oh, that ain't what it's written. This is what it means. It's listening to the gospel, listening to the preacher. We go to church to learn. I go to Buddhist temple. I learn to meditate. I learn to let go. Um, you know, I go to Wiccan. I learn herbal magic. I learn the spirit. I feel the power of these cultures. Native American sweat lodge, everything. I felt, it is a power out there that's greater than myself that can restore to me sanity. And there's also a power out there that can help me with my shortcoming. We're always seeing our past did this to us, our past did that to us, and all this and all that. How long are you going to carry the past, dwell in that past, and blame the past, and then worried about what the future's going to bring, and you don't have no clue what today is? I know in the 12-step program, the agnostics, they have in their book, it says it don't matter if you're an atheist, doesn't matter if you're agnostic, doesn't matter if you believe, doesn't matter. The issue is people are working a program to live. People are working a program to better themselves. Some take hypnosis to improve and encourage their life. And his thing is, I wanted to be certified as a minister, became an ordained minister, so people would listen if you had some kind of background. If I didn't have the certification, nobody would pay attention, and I don't know why. You know, everything is in right and wrong. You know, I read books, the transformation of the spirit, learning to meditate, learning to see what the Great Spirit has for us. You know, and everything in life is recovery. Everything in life is a journey. You know, I remember my cousin told my son when he graduated college, your learning's all done. You don't have to learn none of all this. And I'm like, man, you'd have to quit living to quit learning. People that know me, I go to school as much as I go to. I read as much as I can to. I go to seminars as much as I can to. I join clubs. I just joined a metal detector club, something to do on the side. Uh, Besides, and I love to help people, work with people. Um, some people are afraid to believe in something. I talked to a guy one time at one of the hippie campouts. Said he didn't believe in anything and all that. I said, "We got to have hope." And he said, "Well, hope means leading to belief. Got to have faith. Faith means." And his deal is anything that has to do with focus may end up leading to belief. And he doesn't want to do anything. He just wants to live life, enjoy life, and go on. That is great if that's what's making him happy. But you can have hope and not believe in anything. You can have encouragement in that. Faith, it's a thing. Faith is a different deal. It's faith without work is dead. Work without faith is dead. You can't go with either one. You have to have both. You know, faith is a hard subject. You've got to have faith in something. Do I have faith in my wife? Which means faith is a native word is I trust. I trust this person with my life. I have faith in the Lord that's going to take care of me and I'm going to give him my life. I'm turning my life and will over to the care of God as I understand him. It's putting a lot of trust and faith. That's what faith is I'm trusting. It's more than I trust you. I trust you with my life. Uh, and faith also has no doubt. The Great Spirit makes things possible. He don't make it easy for us. Some of us are born with a lot of challenges. Some of us work harder than others. Some people, like me in school, I have to do extra work to make the grade. I have a learning disability, you know. But I did not let that hold me back. When I was called to be a spiritual leader, I was going on, I can't read good, I don't spell good, I don't know. And I want to be a counselor. He wanted me to be a minister. It was just like a deal. And then he was like, why can't you do both? And I was thinking that I don't need an office to be a counselor. I don't need a church to be a minister. I don't need a temple to be a Buddhist monk. I don't need all that. All I need is me, you know. And so the deal is, I don't know if anybody's listening. I don't know if anybody really gives. I've only focused in on the people that are listening to this. You know, in a lot of this, we have guilt, shame, and guilt. You take a person that's been hurt and lost a loved one. then they turned their back on a higher power, seeing the Great Spirit taking them away, you know, and being mad at something and hating something. So it means you do believe there is something there. So how could you hate something you don't believe in? You know, that's where people don't understand a lot of the stuff, you know. And we work hard for deal. I don't really work a lot, you know, but I do accept, I sit and meditate. How do you follow this journey? How do you do? You know, we were talking in the meeting about guy dyslexic, almost relapsed because he couldn't deal with his dyslexic. But a lot of people don't realize person can't read does not mean they are not intelligent. You know, they just it don't take words to make a genius. You know, but I have a word disorder and I have trouble. So I pay attention to why people uses words they use, how they use NLP, and they're really good. Why you should, why you shouldn't, how this, why that, when you can, all that. You know, and that's a dictionary. That's why I always like when it comes to Buddha teaching, it comes to Christian teaching, is why do they use the words they use in the books? Why do they use the words they do? Because it's a reason why we use things, and I pay more attention to the words they use because the words they use has a lot more meaning of what they're talking about than what the message. And it helps a lot to understand the message when you understand what they're meaning by what the words they use. That's how you get the message, you know. And that's why, you know, a lot of people get something different out of the Bible. You know, you read that scripture and you predict it what it is. Wait 10 years, come back, read that same scripture, it has a different meaning. I guarantee you, it has a different meaning. Wasn't rewritten, nothing. It just has a different meaning. You know, it's the deal is we're learning everything in life. I have messengers. I have went on a road trip and ran into people, talked to people, learning and teaching at the same time, knowledge, everything. It's like you see in the movie. I went and paid oil foundries all over this place. I ran into people, talked to people. It's a journey. They did it for a year. And I got a paycheck. I did a job, but it was the main thing. I was a learning tree. And if you ever get time, if you got time and out, I suggest taking a road trip. Take however long you want. Um, I suggest if you're going to do a long period, get a job that travels. And that, if you got the money to, you know, in my job that I had, it wasn't like you finished your job, you came home, you went to the next job. And there are sometimes I like to go out and go around the cultures, go to countries, listen how their faith, how their culture, how their recovery, how does it different in my growing, bringing up. You know, this is how we learn. Yeah. And as we're walking through, we're absorbing everything that God created. You know, and I'll tell you, this book here is a good book. It's to transform, discovering wholeness and healing after trauma by James S. Gorman, MD. And I read something in there about meditation, that meditation helps restore the brain cells, memory lost, helps overcome the old wounds and everything. And the more you do it, the better you get at it. And I believe that is true because meditation helps a lot with my focus, mindfulness, hypnosis, everything. And this has really helped a lot in everything. And yeah, but it's the pride and effort is that let go, listen to what the answers are, listen to what your tasks are. Don't think it as it's a job and I got a purpose in life and all that. God uses us for a reason, you know, and it ain't about what's what and we do this, we got the purpose, we fulfill it. No, because see, purpose means you have to work at it. You got to get up. You got to do this. You got to do that. Where God intended us to enjoy life and carry the message, learn, pass on our knowledge to what we have learned, give the wisdom. Everything out here is information. Learning is up here. Wisdom comes here. You know, if you don't learn it, you forget it. And when you learn it, you can have all the knowledge of everything, but not learn it. And if you don't learn it, you'll forget it. It's always best to learn everything. Get involved in things. Learn to trust the Spirit to guide you where you need to go. Amen. And I do have 5 beliefs, everything, but I only worship one God. Everything else I use for learning, meditation, coping. My motto is mind, body, and spirit. My other is psychology, philosophy, and spirit. Now you've noticed I mentioned spirit twice. This is my life. I live it, and I do stuff on the side. So, look on the deal. My address is down there and my phone number. So, give me a call or send me a letter and write some comments. Tell me what you think of the show and everything. And send me a letter and tell me what you want to talk about. I like to hear information. Give me something to go on. I love every one of you, and tell your friends about me. I may not be good sometimes, but I'm not about trying to be good or bad and all this. I'm just telling stuff I learned. I'm not trying to be the best Alan Watts or Dan Ross. I'm just being me, and I'm sharing my knowledge of what I've learned to you guys. Yeah. So you guys have a blessed day. See you next week at 6 o'clock Wednesday Pacific time. Eastern time. Yeah. Anyway, good luck and God bless y'all.